Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Bridging the Gap between Black men and Black women. I'm your host, Ramont Williams, and we have a very good topic tonight. As you can see across the bottom of the screen, are some women single because of a good man? Because a good man is not their type. Now, again, I'm going to put this disclaimer up so women could understand that I am not bashing women. I'm merely talking about some of the things that some women do, not all women. Okay, I'm not bitter. I'm not scarred because of some relationship, past relationship, or something that someone else did. So, with that being said, my sole purpose of this podcast is to create dialogue between men and women. And I know I'm not Jesus. I can't save the world, and that's not even my attempt. And my attempt is basically just to, as I said, create dialogue. Okay, so let's get into this. Okay, I want to show this video that I found on Instagram, and then we'll kind of go into it this topic after I play this video. Okay, so hold on a second. Let's see. I want to share the screen. Go here. Got that. Share.
For women is like the worst thing on earth, next to telling them to be submissive. Telling a woman to be accountable and telling her to be submissive is worse than cussing her out. You can call her all types of names, but if you tell her to be accountable and you tell her to be submissive to a man, she gonna flip the table. Women would rather justify, point the finger, blame their mama for when they was little, blame their daddy for not being there. They'd rather point the finger everywhere else before they just say, I'm sorry. A lot of these women are so arrogant. They're so full of arrogance and ego. They think they know everything. They have to know everything. Y'all be trying to get Buck in a situation that Buck energy not going to help nothing. That's not what's going to pivot change. What pivots change is humility, but a lot of women don't even know how to spell it. They don't even know what humility means. They're like, be humble. What is that? I never heard of that before. Stop trying to be combative. Stop trying to be argumentative. Stop trying to be more of a man to a man. Accountability for women is like the worst thing on earth, next to telling them to be submissive.
Okay, I ran into this little clipping, and I decided to share it on this subject, and that's so true. And it's kind of funny how you have, and I don't know what a lot of these women's intent are that's on social media that's speaking on behalf of some of the things that women are doing, particular women, not all women. Okay, and I'll reiterate that as we go through. One of the things that I'm seeing, and that's with either gender. If you're not humble, we can expect masculine men to be somewhat egotistic, a lot unwilling to compromise. But once you become to a certain level of maturity, then it's just a prerequisite that you humble yourself because you have nothing to prove. Your characteristic traits speak for themselves. And I think oftentimes when we talk about women that possess these characteristic traits of men, but hiding under the disguise of women or feminine women, it's a conflict within itself. It's okay. I've said, and I will continue to say that it's okay for women to be independent. I love to see an independent woman, a woman that's taking care of herself. And do she need a man? Technically, no. but morally, yes. Do she want a man? I think a lot of women today don't. I think a lot of women today don't even want men. They're so complacent with their social status, their careers, their independence, that they choose to be single for various reasons. Now, as a man, do I have a right to dispute that? No, because God gave us all freedom of choice. And just like the world itself, the laws that govern man and women, we have that choice to certain degrees. As long as it's not breaking the law, which it's not, it's a matter of choice, then it's okay. But my thing is this: single women, not all single women. And I feel kind of odd just constantly, reiterating, not all women. So I'm gonna just say this at the beginning. Those of you that don't catch it, you have to catch it at the end. I'm talking about a specific type of woman, mostly these social media women. I'm not talking about you good, loving, kind, generous, compassionate, understanding, God-fearing women that take care of your family, support your man, participate and contribute to the community. I'm not talking about you type of women. I'm talking about these type of women that's getting all dressed up, made up for themselves, not for men, because most men, as you see consensus say, most men don't even like women like that. They're trophies to those men that can afford to parade them around so people can see. But, the people that know these men that's in this 1% know that these are not the type of women that they usually engage with. So they're just sex toys, pretty much. Okay. Unrealistically, as I said last night, to expect most men today to make six figures or be in that 1%, that's unrealistic. Okay. Because most men are not going to fit in that category, men such as myself. I seen a video that a friend of mine sent me, and it was a lady, you may have seen it, that was crying. And she was talking about another woman. It doesn't matter the gender. When I first seen it, I was kind of biased towards it. And then as I talked to my friend and she explained to me the passion in which this lady spoke about the hurt, the pain, the disappointment that she's received in her relationships, it was heartfelt. It really was. And when she sent it to me, we're oftentimes impulsive, so we don't take the time to be analytical, to think about things. We just kind of respond to it, and that's what I did. And once I talked to her and she explained to me, I looked at it in a different manner, from a different perspective, because when she made the statement that, men get on and say women, when they're compassionate or passionate about feeling their emotions, because you are emotional creatures, that they're angry Black women. And it's just the reverse for when men try to express themselves, such as I've done since this podcast has been in existence. I'm bitter. I've been hurt by someone, and I want to degrade and put down women. And that's not always the case. In this case, that's not the case. So referring back to her, when I revisited the video, I seen the passion in the lady, and I understand. And as my friend suggested, oftentimes men don't get on social media and convey their compassions, their fears, their that they've been hurt and things like that. And I think that I've tried to convey that on several cases, and it has been misconstrued. There's no weakness about me as a man. I do everything that a man has been designed to do. I do everything that a man is supposed to do. What I won't do is be someone's champion horse to provide for their luxuries when they're not deserving of it. If you're my woman, you're my wife, then that's a whole different ball game. Okay. Have I been through some things in the course of my life when it comes to relationships? Of course I have. I've been married twice. In both of my relationships, both of my wives cheated on me, committed infidelity. Am I bitter towards women? No, I love women. I couldn't see being with another man, but each and every individual have their own preference how they choose to live life. That's fine and dandy. But my thing again is with the new direction of this podcast is to try to bring some resolve. This is the reason I'm so diligently reaching out to people on the internet. So those of you that may see this on TikTok, Instagram, Messenger, Facebook, I'm not reaching out to you women because I desire to be with you, or even not that I even like you in that respect. I'm reaching out to you because I read your profiles and something about you in your profiles that I feel would be tangible to my slate. And this is the reason I reach out. I think it's very, very rude when you read the message and you don't respond. You can just easily say, and I'm not telling you what to do. It's just common courtesy. Oftentimes I have women reach out to me for various reasons, and I just simply respond and say, I'm not interested. And if they continue, then, the dialogue goes whichever way it goes. But when I reach out, it's because I don't have all the answers. I can tell you from a man's perspective, the things I've experienced, the disappointments I've shared, the heartaches I've had, the times I've cried in my heart, not understanding why I was committed when I didn't go out and commit any infidelity. And I was there for my family, and I provided for my family. I supported my family. I encouraged my family. I protected my family. And then this act of malice was committed towards me. But it's not something I dwell on because life is a process. And in order to acquire knowledge, you have to experience things. And once you acquire that knowledge, once it's applied, it becomes wisdom. So God has given me the ability to have that discernment, have that knowledge, have that wisdom, so I know right from wrong. And when I meet women oftentimes on these social platforms, the first thing they come off, if they give me any signs that they have the perspective that most of these women that I talk about on my podcast, I turn it off, right? I'm not wasting my time. 62 years old. I don't have time. I'm in the last phase of my life. I know what I want to do with my life. I'm prepared to do that. I'm prepared to compromise. I'm prepared to embrace my partner's perspectives, as well as I hope she's, encouraged to embrace mine. But with that being said, people like single for various reasons. I thought single was going to be a passionate thing, where I can go and do and just have fun. But see, here's the reality about being single for most people, not all people, because you have some people that's callous, that have these blinders on about their realities, not a reality that coincide with life. And this is how they pursue life. Okay. But these four corner rooms I'm talking about, a lot of times, and tell me if I'm wrong, TVs can be a distraction, music can be a distraction, your family members can be a distraction. But when you're alone, it's only you, God, and your thoughts. If the truth be told, a whole bunch of people would be crying. See, we carry these facades around that we're so callous, we're so hard because we've been through some things that nothing bothers us. But the reality of it is when we get by ourselves, then that reality kicks in. Because God did not create this world and design man and woman to be single. Yeah, you can go and procreate, without being in a relationship and raise, but it's so backwards against what God designed. In most cases, probably 90% of the time, it doesn't work. Even if you rear this child in a nice household with a stepfather or just a mother or just a father, you know, there's an imbalance there. And so often we try to take what knowledge we have that man has given us, that we've acquired from these institutions, and try to recreate life. And we can't do that. We don't have the ability to do that. Only God can do that. So the single thing, cool. I understand we all been through some things, and you know, we don't want to go through these things no more. And oftentimes I believe personally that it's just fear. You know, we can hide behind this image that, no, I'm single because I'm pursuing this, I'm pursuing that. Well, here's the reality that I've learned. Oftentimes, if you're smart enough, you can engulf yourself in enough things so when you convey something to the people you interact with, they're so apt to believe you because of the things that you're doing. But what they don't see is those isolated moments when you're alone in those four corner rooms. See, all the makeup, all the masks, you know, all the attire, all that stuff comes off when you get in that room. It's just like the song that Michael Jackson made, Man in the Mirror. You know, oftentimes, and I've said this time and time before, most people, probably 95% of the people in the world, not in just America, wake up every morning and look in the mirror and they have no clue of what they're seeing. It's such a routine that they're just brushing their teeth, grooming their mustaches, their beards, you know, their eyebrows, putting on their makeup, but they're not looking at the person in the mirror. Because what they see, it frightens them. Oftentimes, and I'm not talking about a specific gender, I'm talking about people in general. You're not looking at your inner self, you're looking at your exterior. And this is what you personify when you come around people. Oftentimes we meet representatives, and it doesn't matter where we're at, that's what's projected. That's who you're gonna see. When you get down to the nitty-gritty and you're around people, then you start to see all the camouflage start to come off. It peels off. It fades away. Now you're starting to see people for what they really are. But oftentimes when it comes to relationships, it's too late. You know, I had a person say to me one time, well, let's spend time getting to know each other. And I thought about it. And I thought about a lot of the things that I've been through in my life. And I come to this conclusion. Realistically, how long does it take to get to know someone? 20, 30 years, 5 years, a year? No one really knows. It's not like the lollipop commercial. You can't take a lick. You can't take a hit and just guess, because everybody's life and everybody's situation is different. Okay, so no one really knows. But it's one thing I know for a fact, and I've experienced this in my life, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you listeners out here have also experienced similar things, that when a person showed you who they are, believe that, because that's who they are. Quit making excuses for people. Oh, no, they were just going through some things. They had death in the family. Death is a part of life. Life is what we're living, and it affects each and every individual differently. It's not the same for a child, for a woman, for a man, for a senior citizen. It doesn't matter. It's a process that we have to go through. Yes, some people are psychologically balanced where they can deal with death, where they can deal with breakups, they can deal with hardships differently. I understand that. taking psychology in college. But the reality of it is these things will happen. As the Bible said, and I'm not a preacher and I'm not going to preach, but there's so many scriptures in the Bible that reflect towards our lives today that I have to speak on. When in the book of Ecclesiastes, when it says there's a season for everything, look it up. There's a season for everything. And a lot of you get so caught up in these fictitious make-believe worlds that you create. When a reality knocks on the door, you try to peek out the window as though it's going to go away. It's not. When that reality knocks, it's there for a reason. You may not be open-minded, have the discernment to understand why it is, but it's there for a reason, because it's all a part of God's master plan. See, but we live in a world today where Hollywood and made all these movies about space and monsters and these Greek gods, Zeus and all this, and people really buy into this stuff. Like most people go to church and they think God is a genie in a bottle. You can't go and pretend that you're serving God when you're not living by God's laws. The Bible clearly states that God is a spirit, not a man. He doesn't live up on a mountaintop. He doesn't live in a rock. He's not a genie with gold on, with big loop earrings and a bald head, and living in a bottle that you rub and you get this magic wish. So as the Bible said, God is a spirit. Those who worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. Not your truth, not my truth, but in truth. Either you're going to do it or you're not. See, because when that time comes, we're all going to be judged. We're going to be held accountable. Right now, we have a choice. And as I say, I've worn these camouflages, but as I've gotten older in life, I come to this realization: I don't have to pretend with anybody anymore. I am who I am. I don't have to go out my way to appease people, whether it's men or women. All I have to do is stay humble, steadfast, keep my faith above, where I know there's no deception or anything coming from, and live out the course of my life. And if it's not in God's plan that I find a wife, which the Bible says good for him that finds a wife, then I live out this life single. Reluctantly, but I will. I'm not gonna go on a drinking binge or drug binge or go on the top of the stratosphere and commit suicide. That's one thing I'm not gonna do. Okay. But with that being said, for you women out here that choose to be single, for whatever reasons you have being single, I pause because I'm reading something, a comment that somebody made. Hold on. This is Jackie Sipes. Let me see what she just said. Yes, there is a season to everything. Some are not prepared, especially sudden death of a loved one. With a lady. Well, again, let me touch bases on this, and this is one of the viewers. Her name is Jackie. She commented about, yes, there's a season to everything. Some are not prepared, especially sudden death of a loved one. I almost put a lady off a flight because of her behavior, and to her family disclosed she was traveling to her mom's funeral. Here's the thing I want to say about that. The Bible says this: every man is appointed a time to die. Even though it doesn't say women and children, they're included. Okay. No man knows the day or the hour or the time that's going to happen. So we can use all the excuses in the world to act out, and we can try to justify because that time somebody's ticket was pulled, or we can come to realization that, okay, I love this person dearly with all my heart, and it's going to sadden me to lose this person because now I can't interact with this person. I can't call this person. We can't do vacation, whatever your experiences were with that person, but it doesn't give you the right to act a fool. I've been to so many funerals, particularly Black funerals, where you think the circus, a circus, nothing but clown, is in a church house. The things that people do when it comes to funeral, you act like this person was never going to die. You may not be able to embrace how that person passed, and that's understandable. But the reality of it is, it was their time. Like, I got a time, you have a time, okay? And this is the reason it's so important that we dispense, if possible, with this single status. We all need a significant other, and whatever title you want to put on it, fiance, husband, wife, it doesn't matter, to bring that balance to your life. Because without it, excuse me, there's no balance. You're walking through, tiptoeing on a tightrope. You may be managing life, but you're not happy. You're not content. You're just doing it because your pride is not allowing you to do what God created you to do. And this is the reason I said to myself, for all you women that I've reached out to be a part of this show, and you made these vague promises that you would participate, knowing in your hearts that, you know, you want to see a man, particularly a Black man, fail. But see, I prayed about this, and in my heart, I know I'm gonna keep this going until God turns off the electricity or Nevada Power, or my equipment breaks down. Because again, I'm not here to degrade or put down women. Granted, it's a lot of things that some women do that I'm totally opposed to. Totally opposed to. Okay. But with that being said, I'm not gonna bash women. You can say what you will about me. That's your God-given right. But my thing is, if you have a resolution to this great disparity that's plaguing men, both men and women, that people just try to brush up under the rug, then come on board. Let's talk about it. Let's share it with the listeners and the followers, and see if we can bring some resolve and get people back to basics, where people are now dating for a purpose. Okay. You know, women are not asking men to take them to extravagant outings when they're just meeting. Women don't have these unwanted expectation of men when they're unrealistic. And you men, you have to quit looking at women as sex subjects. Now, granted, when they project themselves to be such, then you have a right. But all women, just because they dress nice and they may have on some tailored, now I'm not going to say provocative, I'm going to say tailored, because ladies of class tailor their clothes. They don't just go to whatever these stores you go to and put on something 2 sizes too small. As I wear, when I work out, I wear smaller shirts because it makes me look bigger. It's just an illusion. Okay. But I said that to say this: we have to treat you with respect, and in return, you have to treat us with respect. It has to be a balance. Okay. Yeah. In time past, men have disregarded women's feelings and their emotions. Granted, and I played a part in that to some degree in some of my relationships. But as we grow older, we're supposed to grow wiser. Okay. And we're supposed to know everybody's not meant for everybody. You know, you may try something and it doesn't work. It don't mean that you did anything malicious. It don't mean that you did anything spiteful, you know, and it oftentimes you don't have to explain why you did it. If it doesn't work, it just doesn't work. But we need to get out of this mindset that society has perpetuated, that we have run to embrace, and it's destroying our culture, particularly Black culture. You know, as we proceed in this thing they call life, we will still experience disappointment, grave disappointment. We will experience heartaches. We will lose loved ones, children, family members. And that's just all a part of the process of life. Because I believe that these are just temples where there's a delicate spirit that dwells within us. And once this goes, this shell, then we go back from where we came, not from our mother's womb, but we go back to that plateau in that spiritual realm. I believe that with all my heart. So a lot of people say they believe in God, but a lot of people are afraid to die. No one is going to live forever. Based on the Bible, only 2 people never seen physical death. Even Jesus had to go through a physical death. So I don't anticipate it, but I know it's going to eventually happen. And I try to prepare my sons and my families, because death is something that it's like taboo that people don't want to talk about. But you have to understand, if we have that balance in our lives in a relationship, then that comfort comes knowing that one day I will part this world, I will leave you, but we will soon be joined in a spiritual realm. Okay. But see, we as human beings, it's now in today's world, it's inherent in us to say we're thinking outside the box, as that analogy goes. But once we think outside the box, what we're doing is we're thinking in a realm that someone else has created. And oftentimes that realm is not realistic. I just read statistics last night that women outnumber men 3-1. Okay. There is good men out here, just like there's good women. But since the focus seems to be on the women, saying that there's no good men, let's talk about that for a minute. Since we're talking about single, ask yourself this, ladies. If you could possess, and I don't use the word possess literally, if you could acquire the man of your dreams, and somebody send me a comment, put something in the comment, send me an email, you know, make a list, a realistic list of those characteristic traits that a man should possess in order to acquire your time, your space, and your heart. Then we'll do a show, okay? A Q&A, however you want to do it, call in, because I have all this at my disposal now. And we'll talk about it. Help educate me to educate those brothers that I have influence over. If you saying that you want men to be this way, then I can't influence the whole world. There's no man that can, no woman that can. But the men that I can influence, I give you my word that I will as a man. But they have to be realistic. You know, get out of this Disneyland, this fairy tale thing that you know, your knight in shining armor is going to come through 6 feet tall, 6 figures, you know, and live in a mansion up on the hill. For most men, that's not a reality. I pay my bills, I have money saved up, but life is a struggle when you're single. And a lot of people manage it for years. But if the truth be told, and I've talked to a lot of people about this, and as soon as I end this podcast, I'm on my way to the gym to reach out to more women and men. And even if they don't come on the show, I have the satisfaction of knowing that I've spoken to these people and I've got their input. So the input that they share with me, I come back and I share with you, even though they reject being on the screen. And that's fine, because everybody's not comfortable with being on the screen talking and they don't know who's watching. Me, on the other hand, I've done it so long, not on podcasts. Podcast thing is new to me, but I've been in front of cameras. I've done speaking engagements in auditoriums in front of thousands of people. So it's not hard for me, so to speak. But back to what I was saying. Let's make a list. This is what I propose to you ladies that's watching the show now, and those that will watch it at a later date. Make a realistic list. Don't make it a Christmas list. Make it precise, make it factual. What characteristic traits that a man must possess in order to acquire your time, your space, and your heart? And let's see how we can make that manifest. But please understand this, ladies, that as we move forward on this transition, that you have to be willing to give all that you're asking for. Remember, it's a give and take thing. It's about compromise. So if you're not willing to give what you're asking for, then you may as well not participate in this project. But you know what? I'm gonna say this, and I've said this. I wanted to start a dating site, okay? That's different from eHarmony and all these questionnaires and all that stuff. I wanted to find a lit place, and kind of follow me on this. A lit place, like a lit cafe or something. And every person that came in, no alcohol served, okay? So you don't have to worry about those licenses. Maybe some lit finger foods, drinks, not to make millions of dollars off of, but to see how men and women can come together and actually communicate, okay? Where, give you an example. You get interviewed, you get selected to come on this date. Say it's 10 men, 10 women here, okay? So what you do is you select, not us, you select one of the people in here that you would like to talk to, okay? Now, in the course of you having this conversation with this person, if you feel that there's some spiritual connection, some people say vibes, or these other terminologies, that I say spiritual kinship. That's my terminology. If there's some spiritual kinship, then you will let us know, and then what we do, we mark you off the list, and then you know you just agree to come back and update us of how this transpired. You know, did it manifest? How did it go? And then we put somebody else in your space. So instead of just opening up a big cafe with a bunch of people coming in here looking like raving wolves looking for lamb to slaughter, this is what I want to do. Okay. This is another reason I want to use this platform to try to bring people together. You say you're single and you want to meet people, then let's meet people that's real. Let's quit going out to Dollar General, to Walmart, looking for something you know they only sell at Macy's. You can't fault yourself by going to knowing you have the credit, knowing you have the money, but just being unreasonable. You go to a side dealership and buy you a car because your friend or coworker told you they're a good dealership. So if you want a good man, you have to start going where the good men are. They're everywhere. McDonald's, Burger King, Walmart, AutoZone. They're just not on TV shooting a basketball, throwing a football downfield, swinging a bat, hitting a ball, or rapping about things that has no significance to life other than somebody hating on them because they're on camera. Anybody can get on camera now. All you got to do is go and spend a couple $100 and set up a podcast. So you have to start supporting those things that's conducive to your well-being. You have to start making those decisions about things that's conducive to your well-being. Quit looking at a man for his swag or how big his penis is or how much money you believe him to have or what you want him to have, and start looking at a relationship that's based on promising productive things as of days of old. So we're going to do a show here, and I'm going to write this down. We're going to do a show here coming up called Back to Basics, okay? And those of you that want to participate, you have a scan bar up here. You can link in and send me a message. I'm going to write this down. Back to Basics. And Back to Basics, what we're going to actually do or attempt to do with your help is create a scenario where we go back to traditional ways in a modern day setting. Okay. I'm not talking about bell bottoms platforms. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, you know, the cultural aspect of it, the mindset, you know, get down to the basics of men really courting women, not because a man wants to jump in your pants and not because you want to go to a restaurant because your friends talked about it and you know you can't afford it. So you put on this facade that, oh, I don't eat at the Cheesecake Factory. Well, my grandmother always told me if it make a turd, it's all good. And I live by that. I don't need to go to an a la carte restaurant, you know, to show that I have worth or value. And we have to get out of that mindset, because remember, the people that created this mindset, these are people that can afford these luxuries. You can't. Okay, same thing for you men, saying the same thing. You know, not that the things that I'm conveying today is going to change anybody's life overnight. I don't expect that. What I do expect is people to reach out to me because of the sincerity that I'm conveying, get on board and help push this movement forward. If you say you're tired of being single, you want a good man, you want a good woman. Okay, we have I'm reading something that someone made a comment. And I'm gonna speak on this. Mike is my nephew, and he wrote. Actually, let me put it up here. I'm gonna start putting these comments up here. Jackie, I'm gonna put yours up, but let me while I'm on this subject. Michael Williams says, I have not seen 50-50 in a relationship forever. And I'm gonna tell you the reason you haven't seen 50-50 in a relationship, Mike, is because the mindset that's perpetuated through social media, because social media now controls pretty much the populace, okay? Because everybody, when they want advice about relationships, about finances, about anything, they run to social media. They don't go to their pastors, they don't go to their mothers, their fathers, their brothers, sisters, uncles, they go to social media. So social media has become that, what would I say, that savior of the world, so to speak, okay? So when you talk about 50-50, and I've seen this on so many podcasts, that women will expect a man, when they have the responsibility now, 100% of the responsibility, pay their bills, take care of their children, their households, the whole 9 yards. And as soon as a man offered to come in and say, well, you know what? Because I care about you, because this is the right thing for a man to do. I'm not one of those men that's going to sit on the couch, play video games, jump up and down on you, abuse your kids, and eat up food, rip and run the streets and be promiscuous. I'm going to come in loyal, faithful, as you're saying, Jackie, consistent. I'm going to take half of that burden off you, okay? I'm going to take half of your burden and make it my responsibility, lighten your load, so that 50%, that 100% that you were paying at first, now you have 50% to go and do as you will. But when women become so egotistic and so selfish, Mike, that they saying, no, I want a man to come in and pay all my bills. Well, keep paying 100% of them, because most men are not going to do that. First of all, you can't demand something that you're not worthy of. And this is what a lot of people have this misconception, both men and women. You know, men are out here slinging dick, women are out here slinging pussy. This is how they're living in these houses. This is how they're driving these cars. This is how they're wearing the attire that they wear, the jewelry. Who's impressed by it? You're on the same course as every other man or woman to die. So you think by being malicious, being deceptive, that's going to make your life have more longevity? No, it's not. They're not going to write no history book about you just because you wearing Prada, Versace, and you drive a Lamborghini, and you live in a $2 million house. They're not going to write no history book about you. You're just another person that acquired some wood, glass, and concrete, and some rubber. That's it. But the basics of things, of being in a nourishing, romantic, loving, and prosperous relationship. And for those of you that's watching or may watch at a later date, if you find someone, remember that person is not perfect. So don't dwell on their flaws, because everybody has them. If their intentions are good, then embrace that person, love that person, cherish that person, value and appreciate that person. Because out here, this dating pool is a cesspool. It is bad. It is horrible from both sides. I can't put everything on the women because I don't know what these men are out here doing. But I hear the stories and I know they're not lying. So if you want the realness, then you have to be willing to give what you're requesting. You can't ask for something that you're not willing to reciprocate. And this is what I was telling a friend of mine, that, you can't expect a man to chase you. And I know a lot of women want to be courted, and that's fine, because that's the regular process of dating. But if a man is reaching out to you, get off this kick that you see on social media. Don't what you're doing me. Don't good morning me, everything. Well, you should be thankful that I even woke up this morning and thought about you. How about that? No matter what acronym I use to convey that, I thought about you. That should be appreciated. If you don't appreciate that, then oh well. I'm not going out my way. You women, I'm talking about the women now, have to quit expecting men to be the men or be the way that you want them to be. Let men be who they are. Either the things that they do, the things that they bring are going to be conducive to your well-being, or they're not. It's just that simple. Quit telling a man how he should think, how he should talk, how he should walk, because next thing you're going to know, when I think you need to do 3 shakes instead of 2. You can't tell a man about something that you've never experienced because you're not a man. And you men, on the flip side, you have to start being a little bit more passionate towards these women. A lot of these women are damaged. They are, and a lot of them need therapy, just like a lot of you men do. Sometimes you can't figure this out on your own. So you need that expertise to kind of give you that balance and guide you in the direction that you need to go. Women deserve to be loved. They deserve to be cherished, protected, provided for. I give you all that. But we, on the other hand, women, we deserve peace, tranquility, admiration, appreciation. And if you're not giving us that, then how can you complain? When men are very simple, most men are very simple. Okay, let me see what Mike said. Well, I didn't tell you to do all. Here's a good one. Okay, as soon as I get you where you need to be and feel I can't do anything else for you, because let me put this on here and then read this. Mike says, soon as I get you where you need to be and feel I can't do anything else for you, because now you're ahead, you feel the man is not needed no more. So start over with the next man to see what you can get out of them. Okay, Mike, this may be true and this may be your experience, but what we don't want to do is start bashing. What we want to do is talk about some of the things that's plaguing Black relationships, and let's see if we can conjure up or create some type of resolve. We know a lot of women out here are doing that. They go and lay with one man, they suck and do whatever they do, to get what they can out of that man. Then they jump over to the next man. But men are doing the same thing. They're playing on these vulnerable women, these women that have low self-esteem, women that's been battered and abused, and they get into their heads. And then when the women gravitate towards them, then they're out. They ghost them. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, we want to work towards more resolve. Okay. And like I said, we're going to do a show called Back to Basics. And we're going to bring this show to an end because I'm on my way to the gym. I was supposed to went earlier today, but I was tired. This baby takes a lot out of me. I love her to death. So I have to do my fatherly responsibilities. I can't neglect my child because she didn't ask to come here just to go to the gym, to run around oiled up and look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So with that being said, we'll be on tomorrow at 8:00, same time. Those of you that yes, the topic is Back to Basics. Tomorrow title, I'll put that in. The scan bar QR code is up in the right hand corner of the screen. If you wish to be a guest, okay, scan that. It take you to the link of the site. Go on, log in, and as I come on live, then I can cue you in. Just please keep in mind that when there's other guests on, respect other people's opinions, their perspectives, their ideologies, and try not to overtalk anybody. We're not in a political debate. We're actually trying to pull resources together to bring resolve to this great disparity that we have between Black men, particularly in Black women. Okay, so with that being said, tomorrow's topic is back to basics. So again, if you want to be a guest on the show, scan bars in the right hand corner. It takes you to the link, or you can, and this is what I do. I know a lot of people don't do this, but I'm going to do this. Hold on a second. For the next few minutes. Okay. This is my phone number. Okay. And I'm going to put this on the screen too. Okay. Add banner. Show. Okay, this is my phone number, and I know most people don't do this, and I know a lot of people don't encourage this. And my thing is, I'm not afraid of anything, anybody. So if you start sending me disrespectful texts, I just block you. You know, you can go to the text me or to Google, whatever. I'll just continue to block you. I don't have time for that. But my point is this: if you like to be a guest on the show and you're not familiar with this link and how this process works, give me a call, send me a message and say, yeah, Ramon, I can't be a guest on this day, but I can be a guest on that day. I'll put you on my schedule. But all I ask for is this: if you choose to be a guest on Bridging the Gap, please keep in mind that I put out that notice in advance, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. unless my job requires me to work at night, and then it may be at a later time. But I'll give you, I'll do a PSA and let you know. But if you choose to be on here, please don't embarrass me by having me do a PSA saying that you're going to be on because you made this commitment, and then when that time comes, you make up excuses. Oh, well, you know, I just got a call. Somebody in my family is in the hospital. You're not a doctor, so you can't help them anyway. So, you know, the show must go on, and we're going to push despite all the adversity, all the naysayers, all the people that don't want to support, including my family, friends. You know, I don't understand. You people say you love people and you don't support anything unless you feel you're benefiting from it. Well, how you know that someone's watching in the background is not benefiting from a thought that you shared or opinion that you gave or experience that you had? You don't know that, and you never will know unless you participate. So I encourage each and every one of you to step forward, find a friend. If you don't want to do it, find a friend that may want to do it. Okay. Moving forward, I'm going to be passing out flyers. I got all these business cards made, and let me show you so you can see. Let me put this over here so you can see. Bridging the gap between Black men and Black women. Okay. I had those made. The QR code is on the back. Scan me. Same thing that's on the screen. So as I move forward, I'll be passing these out. If any of you would like some of the cards to pass to your friends and family and co-workers, by all means, contact me, and I'll make it a point to get them to you. I'm off for a few more days, so this would be ample time for me to reach out and connect with you people. I'd like to thank each and every individual, Mike, Jackie. I don't know who else was on here, because a lot of times people watching their name, they don't make comments, so I don't know who they are. But thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your participation. Your advice is well needed, well advised. And again, please be safe out there. You know, we live in a cruel world. A lot of callous people, a lot of malicious people. You know, don't take no wooden nickels. You know, if it seems too good to be true, then most times it is. Okay. So I'm here for advice, not for condemnation. That's it. That's my sole purpose of this podcast. Okay. It's to give advice to put people on a better path where maybe they can help someone else. So with that being said, God bless you. I love you. Please take care, and I'll see you all tomorrow night. Thank you again.